It's over. The cover-up couldn't last forever, and now it's all unraveling. So while Jill Biden is scrambling, trying to control the fallout from her husband's stunning collapse, President Trump, well, he just did the unthinkable. He shattered the all-time record and sent global elites into full-blown panic mode, guys. And the numbers don't lie. Inflation crushed, personal income soaring, and the trade deficit, well, it's cut in half in just 1 month. Even CNN had to admit President Trump's economic plan is working. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, she's being called out like never before. Was she the one that was propping up a president who couldn't even remember his own policies? Did she knowingly help to hide the truth from the American people? And now the Supreme Court has spoken. Whistleblowers are coming forward, and even Democrat insiders are panicking. Guys, the truth is bursting out through the seams. And this time, they can't even hide behind the media anymore. Even CNN is turning their back on them. In this video, guys, I want to expose exactly how President Trump's record-shattering economic victory is dismantling the Biden machine piece by piece, and why Jill Biden's alleged cover-up might be the scandal that finally breaks the dam. Now, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Folks, we begin today with a number that's so stunning, even President Trump's critics, they didn't know what to say. For decades, they told us the U.S. trade deficit was unfixable, that it was the price of globalization, that America's best days were behind us. Well, guess what, guys? Apparently that was a complete lie, because under President Trump's new America First trade policy, the U.S. trade deficit, get this, guys, it was cut in half from $163 billion to just $87 billion in a single month. That is the lowest it's been since 2023 and the largest 1 month drop ever recorded in U.S. history. They try to say Trump was a failure. What do you guys think? That doesn't sound like failure to me. If you support Trump, drop a 47 in the comments. And it's not a coincidence. This happened right after President Trump declared April 5th to be Liberation Day. When 85 of our biggest trading partners were told the party was over, that was when the negotiations began. The result? Temporary zero tariff agreements. They started rolling in. Global manufacturers started playing by our rules for once. And those who didn't, like Canada and the EU, well, they raised their tariffs in retaliation, exposing themselves as fake allies. You call that friendship? Yeah, okay, sure, buddy. Well, the globalists are crying foul now, and the American worker just got a win that was bigger than anything that they saw under Joe Biden. And, well, I'll just say that the globalists are not happy about that. But that's not even the part that's making Jill Biden panic here. While Trump is winning on trade, he's also doing something the Fed has tried and failed to do for years. So while the media was busy pushing fear and, saying that the tariffs is going to make everything more expensive, egg prices are going to go through the roof, gas prices are going to go through the roof, that Trump policies would also trigger this runaway inflation, they were trying to scare people. Well, apparently the numbers didn't. They exposed a lie more than anything else. You got core PCE, guys. That's the Fed's favorite inflation gauge. It just fell to 2.1%. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a 4-year low, okay? You know how long the Federal Reserve has been trying to hit that ideal 2% target? Years. And Trump just walked in and just delivered it, all while slapping tariffs on global leeches and putting American companies first. So it makes you wonder, was Joe Biden and Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen working together, trying to make the American people face more and more inflation in a coordinated effort? Like, that's evil. Isn't that evil? If you think that's evil, give me an evil in the comments down below, guys. Guys, the same experts who told you this would crash the economy are now scrambling trying to explain why inflation is all of a sudden under control. Well, let me tell you what won't be said, or at least it won't be said publicly, that Trump was right. Again. And while they try to spin their wheels, the average Americans, they're breathing easier. Gas prices are now stable, food inflation is slowing down, and the Fed is finally seeing numbers that they've only dreamed of. And speaking of numbers, you've called the 800 numbers, you've read the mailers, you've heard the promises. Still confused? That's where Chapter changes the game. Leslie Taylor, she made the switch and she is now saving $1,000 a year, guys. Sharon Bertusik from San Diego, she lost Medicaid, but Chapter found her a plan with zero premiums, zero cost medications, and copays that drop from $89 to $20. Guys, there's no sales pitch here. There's no pressure whatsoever. Guys, just the truth, and their service is free. Like, how do you not get excited over that? I love free. In fact, don't let me walk past some free mints as I leave the restaurant, because I'm probably going to take more than one. I'm just telling you right now. Anyway, give our friends over at Chapter a call. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or you can visit them on the web at askchapter.org/Ron and see how much you've been missing. And do me a favor, come back to this video and let me know how much you end up saving. I want to hear your success story. But here's the kicker, guys. The part that's got Democrats sweating through their suits at this point really is the personal income, and the fact that personal income didn't just rise. In fact, it skyrocketed 0.8% in a single month. Guys, this is nearly triple what economists even predicted. For working families, that's real money. It means you're not just treading water anymore, you're actually getting ahead. And it proves, once again, that Trump's policies put paychecks over politics. CNBC, they had to admit the income numbers were stellar. You got Rick Santilli. This guy, he's such a character. I love this guy. But Rick Santilli, he nearly choked on his own optimism on live TV, guys. Now, contrast that with what we saw during the Biden years. Hidden taxes through inflation, stimulus gimmicks, people begging for scraps while Washington elites got richer. That's some bull, isn't it? Well, that's what's happening behind the scenes, right? But why is Joe Biden so desperate to deflect right now? That's what I want to talk to you guys. And I want to really expose and share the real reason why Joe Biden's in full-blown panic mode, okay? So while President Trump's breaking records in the Oval Office, Joe Biden's under fire like never before. In fact, the question on everybody's mind right now, did Joe Biden knowingly help cover up Joe Biden's cognitive collapse? Drop me a yes or no in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about that one. Well, Mr. Gutfeld didn't hold back. In fact, he compared her to Elvis Presley's manager, pushing a fading star to keep performing, long past his prime. I mean, guys, squeezing every last dime, even as the decline became undeniable, guys. Joe Biden wasn't acting like a first lady. Joe Biden was acting more like a handler, like a gatekeeper, shielding Joe Biden from the press, from the public, maybe even from his own cabinet. And when the media finally starts to kind of ask questions, she's nowhere to be found. Why hasn't Joe Biden testified? Why hasn't Joe Biden faced the cameras to explain her role in the unprecedented deception? Well, let's talk about the optics, because they're terrifying, actually. Joe Biden wanders into a Memorial Day event 4 days late, looking lost, looking disoriented. And that's not just symbolic here, guys. It's a metaphor for his entire presidency, if you think about it. And when does he speak? When he does speak, it's about how he wants to beat the hell out of his critics. Wow. Folks, this isn't just bravado. This is confused aggression from a man who recently lost a battle with a flight of stairs. Even the Five, they could not believe what they were seeing. Jessica Tarlov, she said he resorts to violence every time. Remember, he wanted to take Trump behind the building and beat him up like he's back in school, back in high school or something like that. This is what Joe Biden has been doing his entire career. And what does the media do? They ask softballs, limp questions. They're more concerned about his feelings than the future of the country. This is why the cover-up worked as long as it did, because no one dared challenge what was really obvious to all of us. So when Biden finally dropped out of the race, he didn't even do it live. He tweeted it through a letter with no speech, no press, no answers. So when President of the United States steps down from re-election, that should be really one of the most historic, transparent, and nationally televised events in American history. But Joe Biden, well, he quit the race with a tweet, a letter posted on Twitter, no speech, no press briefing, no live remarks, nothing. It almost makes you wonder, did he really do it? Anyway, here's where it gets even more suspicious. Who wrote the letter? Who signed it? Did Biden even know it was posted? There are some serious allegations that an auto pen, yes, a mechanical signature machine, was used to sign the letter. That means no one knows for sure if Joe Biden approved it himself, or if the people around him just decided to pull the plug for him. And where was Jill Biden? She didn't go on camera. She didn't thank the voters. She didn't explain a single thing. This is the woman who's essentially been by his side for every political stunt, and now silence? Even the Five asked the obvious. Who's actually in charge here? Who's running the White House? If the president can't even read or sign his own withdrawal letter, then who's been signing executive orders, making decisions, holding the nuclear codes? Right? The American people deserve answers. Drop me a quick yes in the comments down below if you think you deserve answers. Because for years, we've been told President Trump was a threat to democracy. But what we're seeing now is something a lot darker, guys. A president propped up like a puppet, and a first lady who may have helped orchestrate the whole damn thing. Now, I want to also expose how the media, the Democratic establishment, and even White House insiders actively hid the truth from the American people. For years, the corporate media attacked Trump for everything, from the color of his tie to the the volume of his voice. But when it came to Joe Biden literally falling apart right before our very eyes, guys, they looked the other way. Or worse, they cheered him on. Reporters would ask questions like, hey, how you feeling today? How's your treatment? But never, who's actually running the country? Guys, they didn't even ask Jill Biden why she's dragging her husband on stage like Weekend at Bernie's. They didn't question the mysterious Twitter letter. They didn't challenge the silent, the guy was silent for who knows how long, weeks, months. They enabled it. And now the house of cards is falling. They're pretending to be shocked. That's too late now. You don't get to claim ignorance when you're the ones that are holding the flashlight and literally chose to look the other way. So I want to talk about the unholy alliance between the Democratic Party and the permanent Washington machine that we can't help but call the deep state. Now, for years, they called Trump a dictator, a threat to democracy, an agent of chaos. But guess what we never saw under Trump? A president so incapacitated that he couldn't sign his own letters or even recognize his own cabinet. I think the difference is pretty clear. Trump was transparent. Press conferences daily, brutal questions. He took them all head on. Biden, hidden in Delaware, the most guarded, insulated presidency in modern history. And the bureaucrats loved it. Why? Because a president who's not all there is easier to control. And here's the biggest red flag of all. With Joe Biden clearly struggling, why didn't anybody invoke the 25th Amendment then, right? They wanted to do it under Trump. Cabinet officials, including secretaries, reportedly said that they were shocked by his state. Mouth hanging open, drooling, eyes glazed over, totally disoriented. Yet no action, no discussion, no constitutional remedy, just more blue tape bureaucracy to keep the figurehead in place while someone else ends up pulling the strings. Comment down below, give me a yes or no if you think Joe Biden was really running the country. So the real question was, who was actually running the United States of America? Because if it wasn't Joe Biden, then somebody else had to be doing it, right? Well, it's already happening, guys. The pressure on Congress is boiling over, and the calls are growing louder for subpoenas. Jill Biden, cabinet officials, White House doctors, even campaign staff. The question is no longer, should they testify? It's, how soon can we put these guys under oath? Because this wasn't just political strategy. This was a coordinated cover-up. They knowingly misled the American people. They sold us a candidate who couldn't function and propped him up like it was a weekend public. And for what, guys? To cling to power? To silence opposition? To push an agenda that nobody voted for while hiding the fact that the commander-in-chief wasn't commanding anything? Guys, let me know, is that a democracy? And while the Democrats melt down, while Joe Biden ducks questions and media insiders panic, President Trump's claiming he's talking a calm, confident victory lap here. I mean, he doesn't even need to gloat. The numbers do it for him. Look at this. The economy is roaring. The trade deficit just made history. Inflation is finally tamed, and Americans are taking home bigger paychecks. Trump even offered grace when asked if Joe Biden should testify. He called it a sad situation, and it's kind of hard to argue with him. But sadness doesn't excuse betrayal, guys, and America deserves the truth. Oh, and just in case you forgot, Elon Musk just exited the White House after helping uncover $170 billion in waste and fraud. It's not a headline. That's a revolution. The tables have turned. The people who screamed about saving democracy are now running for cover, terrified of what real transparency will reveal. Jill Biden was no longer the shield. The media is no longer the filter. The DNC is no longer in control of the narrative here. And for the first time in years, truth is flooding in faster than they can spin it. And no matter how hard they try, they just can't hide anymore. So here we are, folks. Trump's winning without even trying to rub it in. Joe Biden's in panic mode, the media is scrambling, and the American people are finally wide awake. The economy tells one story, the cover-up tells another story, and the contrast between Trump and the Democratic machine has never been clearer. History is being rewritten, guys, right now, and we're here to document every twist, every crack, and every fall. So if you're glad the truth is finally coming out, I want you to smash and destroy that like button. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with 3 people who still think the media tells the whole story. Drop me a comment down below, guys. Do you think Joe Biden should be subpoenaed? And remember, it's over. They can't hide it anymore. Give our friends at Chapter a call, see how much you can save. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.